Are you hearing me, Heather?
Yes, I can hear you.
So this is the School District of Palm Beach County. This is Thursday, October 29th, 2020. And this is the Independent Referendum Oversight Committee, IROC. And this is a virtual meeting. Again, I want to say welcome to everyone. And if you would, please introduce yourselves.
Well, actually, I can introduce everybody because I do have a list of everyone as they were logging in. So we have Ms. Deborah Manzo, Mr. Dumars, Ms. Sherry Brown, Patrick Franklin, Maria Antuna, Sandra Greenberg, Stanley Siegel, and Mr. Elmore.
All participants are now muted.
We also have Susan Atherley, the principal's representative, as well as some people from my team in order to assist if we have any technical difficulties. And Sharon Kovner is from my department, and we had to give it the option to allow the public to participate in the building. So we have another room set up in the building that will have where if there are any participants who wanted to come and see the meeting live, they're not able to participate, but that's the link for Sharon Kovner, is to provide that participation.
Okay, now that we've moved through the welcome and the introductions, any public comment?
There was no public comment that I received.
Okay. Just noting that this is a virtual meeting. Next item is let's approve the minutes, August 28, 2020.
This is Debbie Mansell. I make a motion to approve the minutes.
George Elmore, second.
So it's been moved and seconded that we would approve the minutes. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing none, then we would move on to the next item, new business. Heather?
Yeah, so I will go over, this is our first quarterly report of the second year of the 1 mil referendum. So our referendum has increased, is projected to increase to 213 million. It's an increase of about $10 million compared to the prior year. Our teacher supplements are still the bulk of the referendum, about projected to be about 120 million. Through September, we've collected only $200,000 of the property taxes. We collect the bulk of the property taxes come November, December timeframe. So in our next meeting, we're going to see a big jump. But so far, we've only collected 200,000, but we will collect approximately 213 million. As I'm sure you're all aware and have been reading in the paper, we did have a significant decline in our enrollment. Our enrollment is down approximately 7,300 students based on October. And what we did, we just went through a count day adjustment process in October, and the state has said that they're going to hold the district harmless in terms of FEFP funding, the funding that we receive from the state. So we did have a lot of, we didn't hold schools completely harmless, but we did provide some, I guess we can use the same words as the Commissioner of Education. We were trying to use some grace and understanding in these difficult times that we don't know what enrollment is going to look like. So when we got into the fine arts allocation, the committee members is based on enrollment. And so what we did is we held all of those fine arts positions harmless during this first October count in hopes that we are going to see a growth of enrollment. And we're going to go through another count day adjustment process for the second semester in January. And we've been hearing a lot from principals and more anecdotal information, that they're thinking that parents are saying they're going to start bringing their kids back coming in January. So we're going to go through this process all over again come January. But as of right now, all of our fine arts positions we held harmless and have not been impacted by that declining enrollment. And so our fine arts were expected to be pretty consistent with what they were last year, as long as we start to see a growth of enrollment come the second semester. So that's we're projecting about 780, around 780 fine arts teachers, which represents about $57 million. That could change when we're at our next meeting come March, if enrollment and if DOE does not hold the district harmless in terms of funding. And then in looking at our mental health allocation, that has remained, relatively status quo as compared to the prior year. It's about $16 million in mental health. We still have all the school behavioral health positions at each school. None of those positions would be impacted by enrollment. And then security. Security is another area that has been impacted by the pandemic because a lot of our sports programs we had to pull back. So our football programs are not being offered at every school. It's being centralized and only offered at certain sites so that we can control the people that are entering, the cleaning and security of those facilities. So some of the security costs potentially are not going to be as high as well throughout the year, depending on what happens in the spring and whether we're able to actually open up and fully open up all of our sports programs. So this may be the first year. Right now, we're forecasting we will spend the entire referendum, but this is the first year where it is possible that we may not spend the full referendum. And if that does occur, whatever funds are remaining will be carried over to the next year to be utilized for allowable activities within the referendum.
Any questions or comments from the committee? Okay, hearing none, we can go to item B, the IROC report to the board.
Mr. Elmore, did you have any questions or no? Or comments?
No, I just, in case we needed to have a motion, I was ready, that's all.
Okay, but we do need to have a motion.
Okay, so move.
Second.
Manzo.
Okay, so it's been properly moved and seconded that we would approve receiving the revenue report. Any questions? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? All right. Now, Heather, we can.
Okay, so then the next item is the Independent Referendum Oversight Committee is required each year to formally present to the board. It doesn't have to be an in-person presentation. It can be a written report as how it's been done in the past. So I provided a draft report to the board that just highlights what the purpose of the committee is, how many members are on the committee, and an overview of the results of the prior year fiscal year 20 report, which is the first year of the 4 years referendum, 1 mil referendum that was approved, and that the Oversight Committee was able to determine based on the reports provided that all the proceeds were expended for purposes that align with the ballot measure. And then just an overview of this committee meeting from today, that you're reviewing the first quarterly report for the FY20 school year.
Okay. Any questions or comments?
Paul, you want to go there and make it, or you want Heather to just present it?
Let just Heather present it. It's easier.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we'll have Heather make the presentation to the board. Okay.
Second, Sandy Greenberg.
Okay.
The move and second that Heather will present the written report to the board. Questions, comments, hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay. Okay, then With that done, the next item or action item is the chair selection and the vice chair selection.
Right. So board policy 1.09 requires that the committees, all advisory committees, select a chair and vice chair at the first meeting of the school year. So this is the first meeting of the school year. We'll start with the selection of the chair. The advisory board policy 1.09 also restricts that the chair can only serve for 4 consecutive terms. Our current chair is Mr. Dumars, and he has served for 1 year. He served initially for 4 years. Mr. Elmore served full 4 years, and now Mr. Dumars is has served 1 year. I received 1 nomination so far for Mr. Dumars for chair. Are there any other nominations for chair?
This is George Elmore. I nominate him, Paul, to continue till he gets to the 4th year.
And this is Debbie Manso, and with all that experience, I second that.
This is Maria Antuna. I'll just go ahead and say aye.
Okay. All right, so then with that, if all opposed, saying aye, and if any opposed, if there is anybody opposed, if you would please speak now. Okay, with that, Mr. Dumars, you're elected for chair for a second year. So next is the selection of vice chair. Mr. Elmore is currently the vice chair, and I have received a nomination for Mr. Elmore to continue as vice chair. Are there any other nominations? All right.
I'll make a motion to appoint Mr. Elmore as vice chair. Debbie Manso.
Okay.
I'll second Maria Antuna.
Okay. And so all in favor, say aye.
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 All right. So congratulations, Mr. Elmore. You are now appointed vice chair for the second year. So thank you very much for your continued participation. And then so now our next item is just going over the next meeting. So our next meeting is March 5th, 2021 at 9 a.m. And like I mentioned in the beginning, the governor has not issued an executive order to extend, so far has not issued an executive order to extend these virtual meetings. So it does appear our next meeting is going to be in person unless something changes. So there has been a push, at least locally, that at least for advisory committee meetings, that the state, provide some flexibility with advisory committee meetings to not require to have an in-person. In order to have a quorum, you have to have the quorum members actually in person. So we're hopeful that potentially will, garner some support at the state level. But as of right now, it does appear that our next meeting on March 5th is going to be in person. And then we have the rest of the meetings scheduled out April 30th. And then our last meeting for this referendum year for FY21 would be August 27th, 2021.
Okay. Any other comments or questions? I'm prepared to call for.
Heather, will you email us the result of the governor's decision?
Yes, as soon as I hear, yes.
As soon as you know about it, as soon as the district knows about it.
Yes, as soon as the district knows, I will make sure to communicate that with the committee members. Because I know the preference is to keep them virtual, or at least to have a call-in option if possible.
Okay, great.
And Heather, this is Debbie Manso. Just one question on that. If there's a quorum in person and then there's some of the committee members that don't feel comfortable coming in person yet, would it be okay that they still participate virtually and be able to vote?
We have Ms. Patricia Morales from the legal department who is going to be able to answer that question.
Yeah, I can answer that. If we have a quorum of this group, it's my understanding that once the quorum meets, they can vote to allow the other members to participate. But a quorum would need to be present.
Okay, and I just think that that is an option for some individuals if they don't, as long as we have the quorum. But yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Heather, can you tell us what constitutes a quorum?
4 members.
Yeah.
4 members constitutes a quorum at this point, because we do have 2 vacancies. So because we have 2 vacancies, 4 constitutes a quorum.
Actually, I think it's from the total number. It would be half. No. If we can go back and verify, but this policy was specifically changed for the Independent Referendum Oversight Committee, that it was based on filled positions. But we'll make sure to go back and verify, because we had issues with actually making sure we had a quorum.
Heather, this is George. Who are the vacant positions, or who do we need to have appoint their position?
The Black Chamber of Commerce of Palm Beach County and the Palm Beach branch of the NAACP. And the reason, my understanding was that there isn't necessarily a Palm Beach branch of the NAACP. And so that's why we were having difficulties being able to get a number for that. So it's the Black Chamber of Commerce and the Palm Beach branch of the NAACP.
Okay, is Patrick on here?
Yes.
Yes.
Can you help, Patrick?
He was on.
Okay.
With the Black Chamber.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Heather? Yeah, this is Patrick Franklin. There is no NAACP in Palm Beach County right now, and it hasn't been for a while. So we may just want to vote not to have that seat available at this time.
Okay. And the Black Chamber of Commerce of Palm Beach County?
That should be filled.
Yeah.
Who do we contact, Patrick, so we can get somebody to...
Bruce Lewis.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
We twist his arm. Okay.
Yeah, that shouldn't be a problem.
No.
If you want to, I can talk to him if you like me to.
Yeah, please do. Please do. We need to have somebody to see.
No problem.
And if you could, and I'll send you an email, and if you could provide me his contact information, I can send a letter as well.
Will do. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
All right, well, thank you. Thank you very much. And so the meeting is officially adjourned.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
All right.